Welcome you to this wonderful fall morning. We got some rain over the weekend, much needed, and hopefully this bodes well for the winter time when we can get a lot of snow on the mountains and rain, because we know that the drought still continues. And these are difficult times for the people of our valley, for our farm communities, for our farmers, and for our campesinos. The people who make up this great agricultural region of California, and which leads me to tell you that I have to tell you that we have to be together to fix this broken water system. My friends behind me here all represent farm communities that have suffered as a result of this devastating drought and a water system that no longer serves the needs of our valley, and I will tell you, no longer serves the needs of our state. That's one of the reasons that we're here. We're here to encourage people to vote. There's only 8 days left until the election. Who's counting? I am. But I think I reflect the feeling of many Americans that this election probably has gone a bit too long. But the fact of the matter is, it's so important that we exercise our right to vote. Clearly, it is the foundation, the bedrock of a democracy, the world's oldest democracy, that we have an educated and informed public, that every election cycle does the right thing, and that's vote. It's so important. To have a functioning democracy, it has to be a participatory democracy. And the participation is people exercising their right to vote, electing people who they believe who will do the best possible job on their behalf. And we have a number of friends of mine, friends of Loretta, who are here to encourage people in their communities to do just that, to vote for our water, to vote to improve the quality of life and the economy of the people of our valley, to vote to ensure that we invest in our infrastructure, in water and in transportation, and to invest in our communities so that we can create good paying jobs, so that we can deal with the unemployment levels, and so that we can ensure that we raise the tide so that all people in our valley, in our state, and our nation can have a better quality of life. It's that simple. And when we do things to invest in our children's future, like our education, it pays off. It's real simple. So let me introduce our candidate. We'll do that first, and then we'll introduce our endorsers. Is that the order that you want me to do? Okay, I got head nodding over there. I've served with this individual for many years in the United States Congress, but I've known Loretta way before that. And I am here to tell you that she is tenacious. She is hardworking, and in her heart, in her corazón, she cares. She cares. Too often we in the Valley see statewide candidates running and they do the flyby photo ops and say, you know, I'd like to support you. I think I know the Valley. I eat food. I think I know where Fresno is on the map. I'm not too sure about Mendota or Orange Cove, but, you know, Parlier I've heard about. But the fact of the matter is they don't know our Valley. Loretta Sanchez knows our Valley. She knows the people who live here. And more importantly, she knows the critical issues that we are dealing with. She is not only the ranking member on the Senate Armed Services Committee, which clearly deals with the nexus of Americans' national security. This is I don't have to say, a challenging world we live in today, with the impacts of terrorism around the world, here in our own country, and among many of our allies, and the need to ensure our safety, to protect from aggressors, both around the world and here at home, is one of the most important responsibilities of a representative in the House, in the Congress. And Loretta would not be the ranking member of the Armed Services Committee if she did not have that respect among her colleagues. Clearly, it is a very important position. And she is looked upon on a bipartisan basis in the House as a person to go to, a person to ask questions about with regards to America's defense policy and our national security. But beyond that, she works her efforts, like many of us do in Congress, in a bipartisan effort to get things done. Because at the end of the day, people in this valley get it. They get the political posturing, but what they really want us to do is to get something done, to fix our broken water system, to fix our broken immigration system. And Loretta has done just that. She's been a supporter in my efforts to fix this broken water system. She knows that it was designed for 20 million people. Today we have 41 million people. It was designed for the agriculture we had in the 60s and the 70s. Today we have the largest agricultural industry, not only in the nation but the world. And it puts sustenance on people's table every night. Half the fruits and vegetables that Americans eat every night come from our California, mostly from our valley. #1 dairy state, #1 citrus state, #1 in production of raisins and grapes and wines. And so the list just goes on and on and on. And she knows that where water flows, food grows. And the lack of water reliability not only impacts our valley, but impacts Southern California, impacts the Bay Area. And while it's our problem today, it will be Southern California's problem tomorrow. So we must be about fixing this broken water system. And of course, as a senior member of the Hispanic Caucus, a caucus that I am proud to be a member of, Loretta has shown her leadership on knowing that this current immigration system just isn't working. It's not working for the Latinos here in this valley. It's not working for the Latinos in California. But more importantly, it's not working for America, because we are a nation of immigrants, immigrants past and immigrants present. And the fact of the matter is that we've had the bipartisan efforts out there to fix this broken immigration system. Loretta's taken a lead in trying to fix this broken immigration system. And unfortunately, some of our colleagues just don't get it. There are a lot of reasons that I am supporting Loretta. Obviously, we've known each other for a long time. But these issues resonate in the valley. When she came to me over a year ago and said, I want to run for the United States Senate, and I said, well, that's terrific. I said, but unless you're willing to come here and come here again and come here again and again and understand the challenges that the people that I represent have, that they face with a lack of a reliable water supply, with sometimes frustration that they believe that nobody in Southern California hears them. Nobody in the Bay Area hears them. They don't understand where their food comes from. And Loretta said, Jim, I know where our food comes from. And so I said, well, if you do that, if you make that commitment that you're going to help me fix our broken water system, as Senator Feinstein has tried to help us fix our broken water system, then I will support you. And it's really that simple. So ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm San Joaquin Valley welcome to my friend, member of the House of Representatives, next United States Senator Loretta Sanchez.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everybody, and thank you so much to all of our city council members and our mayors that we will introduce and get a little chance to ask you all to come out to vote, and of course to our young leadership that we also have with us today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Congresswoman Loretta Sanchez, but this is my 14th trip here, just in the last 18 months. So I hope most of you already know what we stand for. I'm here today to ask you to come out and vote. There are 8 days left in this voting season. Some of you have your ballots at home. You can fill them out and put them in the mail, please. You can walk them in to the voting booth on Tuesday, the 8th of November, if you forget to mail them in. Or If you lose them or the dog chewed it up, you can walk in on November 8th and ask for a provisional ballot. Your vote will be counted. So for all of those who are registered to vote, we are asking the Valley in particular, come and vote. And of course, I would ask very humbly for your vote for this November 8th election for the United States Senate. You know, this is the first time in 24 years that we are going to choose a new senator. 24 years. For many who are casting a vote, it will be the first time you will get to vote, really, for a new United States senator. For those who remember way back when we chose them, ask yourselves how much here locally has changed in 24 years. I believe you really need someone who will help Jim Costa and others fight for water for this valley. There are many ways that we as Californians can solve this water issue. Conservation, of course, but you are looking at someone who comes from an area that has the largest factory to recycle water in the world. We can do that in other places in California. We need to invest in new infrastructure to bring water to the valley, conveyance of water, and also to hold water if we get some more rain, whether it's to store it underground or to store it above. These are all good paying jobs. They would put our people here in the valley to work. So, water, I am with you. We are united in this, and we need water. Water is life. We need the Central Valley. Secondly, the moral imperative of our time, and immigration reform. And immigration reform is what we need. It will be, thank you. I will introduce an immigration reform bill in the first 60 days that I am in the Senate, and I know because of the work that Jim Costa has done through the Hispanic Caucus that he will fight to bring that reform, to keep our families together, to keep our economy going, and for our national defense. There are many issues we agree on. Education today, we have one of our representatives from the Cal State, Fresno, here. Go Dogs, yes. We want to ensure that everyone has access to an education. We want to educate our people here in the valley, and then I want to take them back to Washington, D.C. to work in our government, and hopefully some will stay, and we'll place them in the different departments and agencies. So there is a reflection of California back in our federal government. This is one of the things that we are missing, is that everybody loves to live in California. We're afraid to go back and work in Washington, D.C. But we need that. We not only need to vote, but we need to really engage and make sure we make the changes in the government that we need. So, for all of you who still aren't sure, go to loretta.org, loretta.org, and find my record. No on the Iraq War, when everybody else was wanting to go to war. No on the so-called Patriot Act that took away our civil liberties. And no on the Wall Street bailout. I have two brothers who lost their homes. Many lost their homes in this valley, and they did not protect us. They did not give us money for that. They took our homes away, and that was a no vote from my end. Today, I want to thank all of you, and I want to ask you to come out to vote. That's what we need to do. We all win when we come and vote. We have now and the next 8 days, and Jim is going to ask some of our local mayors and council people to come up and tell you why this valley needs to vote. Please vote Loretta Sanchez for U.S. Senate.
I would like to say a few words on her behalf and why they're supporting her. And I'll go through the list as it's in front of me here. A gentleman who has been representing people from our valley and have been a part of larger coalitions, like all of the folks here. Mayor of Orange Cove, Victor Lopez. Victor?
Good morning. My name is Victor Lopez. I am the mayor of the city of Orange Cove, and I'm also the chairman of the Latino elected officials in Fresno County, and I'm co-founder of the Latino Water Coalition, and I'm here honored to state that in my community, my voters have already voted for Loretta Sanchez for the U.S. Senate. And I'm proud to say that my colleagues, my mayors, have indicated to me that they're with me and that they're going to support Ms. Sanchez for the U.S. Senate. Again, I'm going to ask all the voters in this whole valley and this state to get out and vote. This is an opportunity that Loretta Sanchez is the best that this world can offer us. So let's take advantage of the best and vote Loretta Sanchez for the U.S. Senate. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Victor. Voting is the correct message, and the next gentleman knows all about voting and how important it is. Former mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and a good friend who every day is fighting on behalf of the people of not only Fowler, but of the people of our valley, Daniel Parra. Daniel?
Daniel Parra, Mayor Pro Tem for the city of Fowler. I met Loretta about 18 months ago, and I'll tell you what, I knew she was the real deal. I even hosted an event at my home for her. And since then, she's come to the valley at least 10, or you said 14 times. She's come to the valley a lot, and I've joined her on a couple occasions, and I've seen her out there. She really does care about this valley. So on November 8th, please vote Loretta Sanchez. Thank you. Parra, P-A-R-R-A. Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. The next individual, Loretta's support in the valley reflects the breadth and the width, the west side and the east side, north and south, and all of the diverse, incredible, wonderful ethnic communities that we like to reflect upon the positive aspects of this valley. Councilmember Jose Onales from San Joaquin.
Good morning. My name is Jose Ornelas. I'm a city council in the city of San Joaquin, and I'm here to support Loretta Sanchez. She's been in our town 2 times already, and this year she was there on February, and also she was in San Joaquin last night, and we supported Loretta Sanchez. I know we have a lot of issues, and some of the issues that we have in San Joaquin is the water, and we need more jobs, and that's one of the reasons we supporting Loretta Sanchez. And I hope everyone on the west side, east side, north side, and south side, so we support Loretta. Thank you.
Very good, Jose. A lot of us had the wonderful opportunity to be educated in our state university system. And for those of us in the valley who went to Fresno State, home of the Bulldogs, go Dogs, have obviously an incredible affinity for what is now ranked the 25th university, top university in the country, from a whole host of measurements. And over 60% of the students at Fresno State, 25,000 students, are the first in their family to go to a university. And so it's doing all the right things. President Dr. Joe Castro is terrific. And we have our president of the Fresno State Democrats here, who's leading those Bulldogs, those Democratic Bulldogs on. Let's give a warm welcome to President Andrew Dasovich. Andrew? Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
All right. So my name is Andrew Dadasovich. That's D-A-D-A, S as in Sam, O, V as in Victor, I-C-H. I am president of the Fresno State College Democrats, here to support Loretta Sanchez. And I'd first like to start off by saying that it's not just the Fresno State College Democrats that support Loretta Sanchez. The president of the Fresno State College Republicans, Brianna Milligan, unfortunately could not make it due to work, but she also sends her support for Loretta Sanchez, showing her bipartisan support. I'd like to thank the ex-president of UC Merced College Democrats, Huber Munoz. He was the one that actually got me involved in this campaign. I'm sure the campaign's heard his name a lot. But the thing that students need to remember when they go out to vote this November is that Loretta Sanchez has been pushing for years, not just to start up right now to say, I will start helping the students, but for years has been supporting the expansion of federal Pell Grants in an effort to make students leave college earlier and debt-free. So she's in step with the national efforts to make students get out of college quick, debt-free, and with a degree that will get them a good paying job. And so everybody who is a student should get out to vote November 8th and vote for Loretta Sanchez.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for that terrific words of support. The fact that Loretta is able to not only get the Fresno State Democrats strongly on her side, but also to have the president of the Fresno State Republicans endorsing her, just reflects the sort of bipartisan effort that Loretta has made during her years in Congress, because that's really what she's about. We're very similar. If you're going to get anything done, you got to work on a bipartisan basis, and we both know that. Let me introduce two other people who are part of this team. A gentleman who has always put the people of Parlier first, and who's a friend. I no longer represent the city of Parlier, but I have fond memories of Mayor Armando Lopez and I working together. Armando is well beloved in his community, and every day never forgets where he came from, nor his immigrant roots, which I think all of us share in common. Let me also introduce one other individual, former Vice Mayor. Both Armando and Vice Mayor Roy Rodriguez have been very involved not only in their community but in their schools in Parlier to try to ensure that the next generation of people in our valley have the proper education. So I want to thank Roy Rodriguez and Armando Lopez for your leadership and support.